Hello everyone and welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. Today we're going to be taking a look at a couple of USA and UK made pen knives. I was watching a video from Paddy's Potato Peelers yesterday and thought it'd be a great idea to show some of mine off, as I never really show the smaller sort of knives or anything like that, especially from the UK or the USA. Not really going to make this an open tag, as you know, it's Paddy's sort of content, but just thought I'd jump in and show what I had really. But yeah, let's just jump straight into it. Got quite a few here, not as many as Paddy and not quite as impressive, but I really enjoy the ones I've got. But here's the first one. This is a very little George Wolstenholme from Sheffield, England. Has these sort of, I don't know, celluloid, red, gold, green, kind of glittery covers on there. So you've got the pins holding it together, brass liners, nice little back spring, a bit more green on the reverse side compared to the front. Two very nice little pen blades on there. You can see we've got the George Wolstenholme Sheffield, England on there. Has seen quite a bit of use, blades worn down a little bit, but plenty left on there to use. And on the back we also have a nice little smaller pen blade, but again with the IXL George Wolstenholme Sheffield, England tang stamp. I believe these ones are carbon steel based on the age, and you can see it's got a little bit of patina coming on the back here, but no wobble, everything is solid. A little bit less snap on the main blade, the larger of the two pen blades on there, but there's still action on there. Just doesn't have quite as a affirmative snap. You have to kind of give it a bit of a help to close. But on the excuse me, the smaller pen blades, plenty of action on that. Very, very snappy. But that's the first one. Nice little George Wolstenholme. Let's just sort of mix them up really. So we'll go with another one. This is a USA made buck. Now you can see got the two brass liners on the back there, making it a bit easier to fill those blades out, so you can cam that one over a bit more. This has the text buck tang stamp, one pivot showing here brass, got the black Velox and nickel silver bolsters with the nickel silver pins holding that together. And this is a relatively older one. I believe that tang stamp is 87, I want to say. I could be wrong. This is one I picked up at Sharp Show 2023. I think this was a great buy. I think I got this for maybe like 10 or 15, and for the condition it's in, I think it's a great purchase. But wonderful fit and finish, great snap on the blade, no half stop on this one, just a nice cam tang. And I believe this is, would it have been a Buck made one? Yes, because they've got the date code on there. So yeah, this is made by Buck and not Camillus. So you get a nice small style clip point blade on there, and these are all sort of under 3 inches closed. I say this is about 2.75 inches closed. And then the secondary blade is quite unusual for sort of a pen knife. You get a little coping blade on there. Nice little edge, razor sharp, decent blade stock on there as well, and that would be a great letter opener. All these knives are perfect sort of 5th pocket knives. Listen to the snap on this one. I don't understand how they can get snap to be that strong on a little tiny knife like this. But I wish a lot of more modern slip joint makers would take note of the snap they can get on these, rather than having a softer snap. We all like great walk and talk, and I think this buck has the best action of the lot you're going to see today. But yeah, that is the buck 305. Next up, another one from George Wolstenholme. This is a very small one, even smaller than this one. So this is about 2.5 inches, maybe 2.75 inches, something like that. These are plastic covers, I believe, nickel silver bolsters, brass liners and a single spring. We have two blades that are incredibly hard to open because of the nail neck is buried right down in there, and I make an absolute hash of this trying to get it out. We have just about make out the George Wolstenholme IXL tang stamp on there. Nice little snap. This secondary blade is also a pain to get out. So this one doesn't really get much pocket time, mainly because it's just a bit of a faff to get the blades out. You can see a bit less of that tang stamp on there, but you can just make out the IX on the top there. Stainless steel on the back. Again on there. Even though it's a bit difficult to get those blades out, it still has great action. Just a shame that it's a bit inconvenient, I would say. Maybe if I had a little bit longer nail, I'd be able to get them out a bit easier. But another one from Wolstenholme. Next up, another one from Sheffield, England. Now this one is one of my favourites. I think the bone on this is absolutely beautiful. Look at the deep, sort of dark brown jigged bone on there, nickel silver pins holding it together. Two blades between those brass liners, wonderfully spaced, perfectly sort of fits in that very small channel on one spring. And this is a brand I only have one of. This is, excuse me, a Joseph Elliott and Sons from Sheffield. And I believe this is their Maker's Mark, the back-to-back C with the Maltese cross between. Nice action, a little bit of a swedge on the reverse. I believe these are stainless steel blades, but nice edge on there. And this thing looked pretty much untouched. And if it has been used, it's very, very minor use. See, the smaller blade has the same tang stamp on there, but the snap is crazy good. Great action. Wonderful sort of size for a little fifth pocket penknife. Get a full 4-finger grip on that, to be honest. This is going to be right about 3 inches closed, I would say. Great main blade on there, and great pen blade on there as well. Nice little edges on there. But that is from Joseph Elliott and Sons. Next up, another Wolstenholme here. Most of these are going to be Wolstenholme, as that's the biggest brand that I collect here in the UK. They're a lot easier to get than some of the other ones, and they've done a much more wider range of sort of pen knives or the smaller knives. But this one, unfortunately, has not got the best, well, it's not got any snap, let's put it that way, in the main blade. It's pretty much a friction folder at this point, but I pretty much had to have it for the sort of handle material. They didn't have any Wolstenholmes with bone covers. See, we've got IXL Wolstenholme England, and this is very similar to a USA made old timer. Pretty much the same pattern, same design, just apart from this one obviously is from Sheffield, England, but the pen blade has plenty of snap still on there. Wonderful sort of, what would you call the amber jigged bone, light brown jigged bone. Great fit and finish, no gaps, nothing like that. Just a shame that this I feel this was used, but it didn't have the pivot oiled, so it's worn away at the spring, meaning there's next to no snap. Blade sticks up a little bit proud, but that's characteristics of either the tang wearing down or the spring wearing down. But if I leave this one here like this, we'll look at the USA made one here, and you'll see how very similar these are. So this is the 104 OT, USA made by Schrade, and I mean, tell me that isn't the same knife. Made exactly the same way, dual liners here, carbon steel, apart from this one's bone, and this one is Delrin. Now I do know for a period of time Schrade did have the IXL brand on their side, but I don't believe it was exactly this time, but they've definitely shared patterns. But I mean, they're identical. Apart from, you know, one's Sheffield, one is USA. Got the old timer logo on there, saw cut Delrin, nickel silver, carbon steel blades, no half stop, still has nice action. Nice little pen blade on there as well. That is the 104 OT. Next up, this one here is in buffalo horn, and I'm not sure if this is Sheffield made or not. I've never been able to find much information on it, but it does have inox stainless steel blades. It appears to have either nickel silver liners or steel liners. We have this wonderful long pen blade. Now this is the largest of them all. But look at that blade. Here's the tang if anyone has any information on it. It's got like a crown with a J, S and D between arrows. Inox on the blade, that's literally the only identifying features on it. A nice long pen blade. And then on the reverse, you get this awesome little clip point blade. Very similar to the older style clip blade you get on the Victorinox and on the Wenger models. Pretty much the reason I picked this up was for the feathering on that buffalo horn there and the clip point blade. I think that's a fantastic combo. Doesn't that look great? But yeah, if you've got any information on that, let me know, because I cannot find anything online. Next up, we have another one from Sheffield. This is a Richards. Now, this is technically not a penknife because it has the same sort of features as a camp knife, but because it's at that size, I thought I'd include it. But on the front, you get a flathead screwdriver. And on this side, you get a can opener. Now, I'm not sure how much use that's going to be at all to anyone. Honestly, I think that would just bend if you tried to use it. I think this is more of a novelty knife rather than anything user, but someone has used it and loved it. That pen blade has been butchered by someone trying to sharpen it. And then there is also a main blade on there as well, where you can see the Richards Sheffield England tang stamp. But these all have great action. These are the clamshell covers, and by that I mean you can see they're sort of crimped around the frame. But nice little Richards camp style penknife. Another from George Wustenholme here. This has got, I believe, to be jigged bone covers with a nice nickel silver shield, bolsters and pins. A little bit cracked and missed up here, but again, it's an older knife. Nothing like that is going to put me off. Nice pocket worn covers as well, so you can see that someone has loved this. Got brass liners, carbon steel spring, and you'll see the use on the blade that someone has carried this for a long time and continually used it. You can see this would have carried on more down this way, but a lot of this has been worn off. But plenty of blade there, so not much complaints from me. Wustenholme tang stamp. You can just about make out where the IXL was on the blade. If I do that, you can just about see it just here. But it's worn away with use. On the back, you've got the classic oil the joints. Nice action. And on the back, you get a pen blade. All these pretty much the same layout, like a larger blade and a smaller blade, but quintessential British penknife. I mean, the designs don't really change too much for a penknife. You get, you know, sort of this style, sort of thinner at one end, thick at the other end, two blades equal ended, and then or you have something like this, which has got no bolsters and has just two blades in it like that, or, you know, this sort of thing, more of a serpentine shape where you've got the, you know, so it goes this way and then back out this way. Again, there's no set pattern for what you would call a penknife or a small pocket knife, but they all have the same sort of blade layout of a larger blade and a smaller blade, whether that be a smaller clip like on here or smaller pen blades like on the rest of them. Now this one I've added mainly because of the size, but it is mainly a jackknife compared to a penknife because it only has the one blade. And this is the Old Timer PAL, or the 120T. This is a USA made one, of course, with the saw cut Delrin. And I picked this one up new old stock for £15 here in the UK. I'm pretty sure the seller did not know what they have. That's an absolutely screaming deal, considering these are going for way more than that in the US, and they're more sort of prevalent in the US. But just about get four fingers on there, maybe just off the edge. But another great fifth pocket carry, or like a gentleman's knife, really. Nice clip point blade, carbon steel. So you've got, get that to focus, Schrade USA 120T on the blade. Nice action, no half stop. Long pull. Favouring the show side, but I don't think it's rubbing. Can't see any sort of rub on the blade, it's just very close. Again, another really nice one. Down to the last couple. Now this is one I picked up very recently, and it's from a brand I didn't have. It has this really nice machine turned covers on here, very slender carry. That's strange because on the front it doesn't have the maker's mark, it just says stainless Sheffield England, and then the maker's mark is actually on the reverse, which is not what you would normally see. You can see this is a Butler, you've got their key sort of maker's mark at the top, and then again on the back stainless steel and a nice little pen blade. My newest acquisition is the last two then. This one is by far my favourite out of the bunch. I think this is absolutely beautiful. We have this sort of amber coloured jigged bone, almost worm groove in some places. See that on there, nickel silver bolsters. We have brass liners, clearly a carbon steel spring with that patina on there. And we have a nice main blade. Now this is a Maples & Co, and you can see there a little beehive in there. Now that is their maker's mark, like George Wustenholme had IXL. they had the beehive given to them as their trademark. I think that's really wonderful. Large pen blade, nice patina on there. Now I have cleaned this up today. I don't like to take too much of the patina off because I really like how it looks. But great action on there still. Nice snap. Pen blade, a little bit difficult to get out, but if you open the main blade, not a problem at all. And you can see on there, it just about see it says Sheffield just here. It's quite hard to see, but again, it's been used, it's been loved and cherished, and I'm really glad to have this one in my collection. Really enjoying picking up makers I've never heard of from Sheffield and in the USA. This one I believe is pre-World War II, as I think they finished production in the 30s. That's what I could tell. I've only done very minimal research, so I could be wrong, but I think it's beautiful with that sort of pocket-worn amber bone on there. Great size penknife, about 3 inches closed, this one as well. And then I've left the most unusual one for last, and it comes in this. Now this is a Richards. You'll see some strange things inside the packaging, but you get the knife in here. Nothing unusual, standard sort of celluloid covers on there, single bladed penknife. Richards on the tang, nothing unusual. You'll notice that the spring though doesn't go all the way round and terminate, and you'll notice there's a little bar just in there. You see that? There we go, you can see that bar there. And that is for these tools, and I think that is fantastic. I'll just show you the one because they all fit exactly the same. But we'll take the little flathead screwdriver. See that there? And this little hook here and then a little bar there. So you take the hook, place it with the spring away from you in the end. Look at that. Little tiny makeshift screwdriver. Isn't that the coolest thing you've seen? I love this little knife. I think it's fantastic. I actually picked up 2 of these, and I have sent one over to Paddy because I know he loves these little tiny British pen knives, and I'm sure you really appreciate that. And to take it out, you just sort of, if you were going to close the blade, and then it just slides out. And so then you have a makeshift little pen knife, multi-tool, very early sort of British design for multi-tool. I think it's really cool. Really enjoy this little thing. I think it's fantastic. But there we go, guys. That's sort of overview of my USA and UK pen knives. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.